Oh, crap. Here we go again. And now I'm left wondering, why do I wake up every night at 3 a.m.? And what's the best way to get back to sleep?
31% of adults report waking up in the middle of the night at least 3 times per week. And more than 20% say that they wake up at least once every night. Now there are a lot of things that can wake us up. Loud noise, anxiety, medical conditions like sleep apnea, or a nearby erupting volcano. But biology also plays an important part. When you're falling asleep, your core body temperature rises until about 10:30 at night. And then it hits a peak and it starts to drop. And that drop is a signal to your brain to release melatonin. That's important because as your body temperature keeps dropping, at some point it's got to go back up. And when it does, that's when you move into a lighter stage of sleep. Guess what time of night that usually occurs? Between 2 and 3 a.m. This also coincides with the stages of sleep, from level 1, which is the lightest stage, to REM sleep, where your muscles are basically paralyzed and most dreaming occurs. So it's important to realize that in most cases, it's biology that's getting to you and waking you up during the lightest stages of sleep. And it's not my snoring.
Now, of course, it's not the waking up that can be such a drag. It's the getting back to sleep. What are you supposed to do?
Well, I'll tell you what not to do. First off, don't look at the clock, because this can increase anxiety and begin the shame spiral of looking at the clock, thinking that you've only got a little bit of time to sleep, getting worried about it, looking at the clock again and again, and basically just working yourself up into a lather and making the whole thing worse. Set yourself an alarm at night, and that way if you wake up in the middle of the night, as long as your alarm hasn't gone off, you know you can just try and get back to sleep calmly and in a relaxed manner without worrying about it. Secondly, don't get up and wander around the house. I mean, unless you actually have to pee, then definitely go ahead and take care of that. I'll tell you why. Because going from lying down to sitting to standing is actually going to increase your heart rate and make it harder for you to get to sleep later on. And that means don't get up to get a glass of water. The best thing to do is to set a glass of water next to your bed before you go to sleep. And that way, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're thirsty, you can just reach over and have a sip without having to get up and causing any other problems with you getting back to sleep. And lastly, don't turn on your phone. I think everybody knows by now that the blue light from your phone is going to kick your melatonin production in the stomach. That's not good.
So, what am I supposed to do? Like, just lie here?
Now that's actually a pretty good start. I saw it on Jeopardy, so it must be true that lying quietly in bed can be up to 30% as restful as actual sleep. It's called non-sleep deep rest, and apparently it's a real thing that exists in the world. But of course, just lying awake in bed for hours can be boring for some people. So I've got a couple of techniques to help you relax, lower your heart rate, and get back to sleep. But first, a word from our sponsor, the Sleep Zapper. It's the first aversion therapy insomnia treatment. Just strap on the Sleep Zapper and the sensors can tell if you're not sleeping. And it'll zap you. Uh-oh. That will train your brain to go to sleep to avoid the painful electrical shocks. The Sleep Zapper. You'll be shocked how well you'll sleep. If electrical shocks are not your cup of tea, then I've got a couple of exercises that might help. Now, the goal of these exercises is not to force you back to sleep, because that's impossible, but just to help you relax and make it easier for you to fall back to sleep naturally. A simple breathwork exercise that'll reduce the CO2 in your blood and help reduce anxiety and stress is to exhale for twice as long as you inhale. I'm going to do it for, let's say, a 4 and an 8 count. You just do it in your head, and it might look something like this. You do that for 5 to 10 cycles, and then, if that helps relax you, you can move into a simple meditation. This exercise aims to relax your mind by relaxing your body. Concentrate on the muscles in your forehead, your face, your neck, and so on. Consciously relaxing each one as you go. Most people say they fall asleep before they reach their toes, which is a good thing because I have no idea how you relax your toes.
That is the end of this video. If it is not 3 a.m., then you could go ahead and watch this video next. Otherwise, you should go ahead and subscribe and you will get all of my videos. You should go now so that I might dream of kangaroos.